Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
Responding to an in-flight emergency. The call came in just before 4 this afternoon on a report of a plane having mechanical issues. It's believed there was just one person on the plane. The pilot was reportedly trying to land at the North Dakota Air Guard, but ended up having to land 11 miles north of the airport on a rural road. Stick with Valley News Live as more information comes in on this story. There is one moment for you. There is an optimistic update today from the family of a 5-year-old boy who was critically injured when a complete stranger picked him up and threw him over a rail at the Mall of America. The family attorney released a statement that says Landon has shown real signs of recovery and that test results have been positive, and the family remains optimistic in his recovery. 24-year-old Emmanuel Aranda is charged with first-degree attempted murder. Police say Aranda grabbed the boy and threw him over a third-floor balcony last Friday. Police say Aranda told them he went to the mall looking for someone to kill and chose the boy at random. Aranda's bail has been set at $2 million. His next court appearance is set for May 14th. We have a follow-up now on a situation from last night where Fargo police responded to an armed suicidal man at a South Fargo apartment. Officers were called there again today around noon on a report of a deceased man. After a 4-hour-long effort last night to get in contact with that man, Fargo police say they ultimately decided the best way to de-escalate the situation was to leave the scene. They did so around 11 last night. It is a decision that caused some confusion from people in the community and prompted Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter, Bailey Hurley, to talk with police about their protocols with mental health. She joins us in the studio now with more. Bailey, what did you find out?
Andrea, Deputy Chief Todd Osmond says leaving a mental health situation is something Fargo police have done quite a few times as they've received more mental health training over the years. Osmondson says officers on Thursday night's scene talked with the suicidal man's family, who consulted with police to leave the apartment complex. Now, Osmondson also says there were several crisis intervention trained officers on the scene to, quote, better communicate and understand the mental health situation. He added that Fargo Police's main goal when on a call like Thursday's is to get that person help. Osmondson says the presence of law enforcement can sometimes make a situation more stressful for a subject in a mental health crisis. However, he says in those instances, officers are there to help and assist an individual rather than get them in trouble. He also added that there is not a set way Fargo police respond and handle mental health situations, as there are several different variables that need to be considered, saying, quote, we've got to do our best to help those in dark places. Now, I also talked with Moorhead Police today, and they say there have been multiple mental health situations that they have also left the scene from in hopes of de-escalating and ultimately helping the individual in distress. Andrea.
All right. Thank you, Bailey. Deputy Chief Osmondson did not know if or when the residents of the Cheyenne Estates apartment complex were allowed back into their homes. We reached out to the apartment complex, but haven't heard back yet. We are heading into Easter weekend on a warm note and liking how things are drying up out there. Let's find out from Justin what's in store this evening. Justin?
And thank you, Andrea. Good evening, everybody. Yes, temperatures are on their way up as we see plenty of sunshine. Here's a look at the current readings as we are close to 60 degrees across most of Lakes Country, lower 60s into the Southern Valley, and out toward the Jamestown area, temperatures into the upper 60s, some lower 70s in Carrington, Devil's Lake at 67 and a 73 at Candu. As you make your way into northwestern Minnesota, some upper 50s, so temperatures pretty nice for this time of day and this time of year, and we will stay mild as we have a breezy to windy southerly wind of 15 to 35 in some places. Strongest winds off to our west with just partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies across the region, maybe a few sprinkles, especially into the Roseau and Baudette area, and that's it for the moisture. Mostly clear skies most everywhere else, breezy to windy southerly winds. Temperatures staying mild into the 50s this evening with low temperatures tonight falling back into the mid-40s. We'll tell you what to expect as we go through the weekend and when our next chances for some moisture are. That's coming up later in the newscast.
All right. Thanks, Justin. This week's Valley's Most Wanted is 26-year-old Anthony Alvarez. Police say he's wanted for a probation violation on a theft charge and driving under suspension. You can call your local law enforcement if you have any information on him. Authorities in Grand Forks want the public to know about a high-risk sex offender moving to the area. Authorities say Dylan Blake Littlewind recently moved to 515 North 47th Street, number 303. Littlewind has a conviction for aggravated sexual contact of a minor in 2014. Littlewind must register for a lifetime in North Dakota. Authorities in Moorhead are looking to bust drivers for being distracted behind the wheel. Moorhead Police and Clay County Sheriff's deputies are bringing back the Busted by the Bus campaign. They'll be sitting in a big yellow school bus on April 22nd and 29th, looking for people texting and driving. Last year, 110 school bus traffic violations were turned in to Moorhead Police. The Otter Tail County Sheriff's Office says a driver is still in critical condition after an injury accident near the intersection of County Highway 52 and County Highway 67, in which a car went airborne. Officials say a car was driving in the 5100 block of County Highway 52 when it veered off the road, overcorrected, hit an approach, went airborne, and came to a rest against a tree. The driver was flown to a hospital in St. Cloud.
Instead of making them less anxious, let's make them better at being anxious.
From outbursts in the classroom to meltdowns at home, chances are you've seen the negative effects of untreated childhood anxiety. About 1 of every 3 children suffer from anxiety disorders, and experts say that figure only covers those in treatment. In reality, that percentage is higher. But there's new hope to stop these behaviors before they become extreme and out of hand. Researchers tell Valley News Team's Veronica Marshall parents hold the key.
Paige Olson is a mother of 1 with another on the way, so she says she welcomes parenting tips.
I'm always open to new ideas with parenting.
But a new study shows she has more power than she thinks. Dr. Eli Leibowitz says when it comes to helping children respond to life's challenges, like anxiety and stress, it's parents who have the most power and influence. In his most recent study, Leibowitz had about 50 children with anxiety get therapy for 12 weeks. A different set of 50 parents also met with therapists to learn how to implement a program called SPACE.
When parents are showing their children both of those things, I understand and I get it on the one hand, but I also know you can cope. They're being supportive. And that's one thing we're trying to do in SPACE.
SPACE also asks parents to limit the accommodations they make for their children's anxiety, like removing obstacles or triggers from their paths.
Rather than showing them through our behavior a reflection of themselves as a child who is weak and vulnerable and unable to cope, we may be able to show them even at an earlier stage a reflection of themselves as a child who is strong and competent and is able to cope.
Leibowitz says the results were remarkable. The children who never saw therapists, but their parents practiced the SPACE method, were just as likely to be cured of their anxiety disorder as the children who had the best therapy available.
We don't believe that parents are the cause of children's anxiety problems in the vast, vast majority of cases. What we do know, however, is that when a child is anxious, it's natural for them to look to their parent to help them to feel better.
Giving local parents new tips and new hope for happy and healthy lives for their little ones.
I think it's valuable. I mean, I find myself practicing that at times.
I would love more parenting tips. Always open to that.
In Fargo, Veronica Marshall, Valley News Live.
Confronting childhood anxiety isn't only beneficial for individual families. Leibowitz says the costs of untreated anxiety are staggering, and they can be felt throughout the entire community. For more information on SPACE, visit our website, valleynewslive.com. The evening commute from Grand Forks to East Grand Forks may be a little smoother today after officials opened Point Bridge this afternoon. They say it will be monitored all weekend for water on the roadway. If water does build up on the roadway on the East Grand Forks side, the bridge could be closed again. For more closures in that area, go to our website, valleynewslive.com, and click on this story. With the nicer weather, we're seeing more and more pet owners walking their dogs, and there may be times when you don't feel comfortable walking past another dog, or you don't know how the dogs will react. So Animal Health Clinic in Fargo has some advice on how to stay safe and avoid a bad situation.
What I would recommend is just step to the side if you can, maybe. If it's safe to step to the side, have your dog sit and let the others pass by. Bring a distraction along with.
Animal Health Clinic recommends you always leash your dog. Pope Francis presided over the Lord's Passion ceremony in the Vatican Basilica today. In silent procession, wearing red vestments, Pope Francis made his way down the nave of St. Peter's Basilica there before the high altar. He lay in prayer. This was the opening act of the Liturgy of Our Lord's Passion, the central commemoration of Good Friday, the memorial of Christ's suffering and death for the salvation of mankind. The Holy Father stood as 3 deacons, 2 Franciscans, and a Dominican chanted the account of the Passion, according to St. John. The Passion of the Lord service is the first of 2 Good Friday services for the Pope. A note